And thus, a new era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Has landed. See what I did there? Has landed. Aliens. Go Rush. I'm clever. Yeah, so, welcome everybody. It is once again time to talk about a first episode of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. Now, before we go any further, I should just clarify, I do still plan to do my usual batch of end of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Era, start of a new one videos. The first episode showed up and is subbed. What am I going to do? Not talk about it? So, yeah, we're starting with this, and we'll just kind of get to everything else, preferably as soon as possible. But yeah, no. So, this first episode is very interesting for a multitude of reasons. And I should probably explain what I'm looking for in a Yu-Gi-Oh! First episode. And the big thing a first episode for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Show has to do, besides, all the normal complicated stuff of introducing the characters, giving you an idea of the plot, the world, showing off the animation, all of that normal first episode stuff is, it has to also differentiate itself from the other Yu-Gi-Ohs. This is a 20-something-year-old franchise with many iterations, and they all have done a great job of feeling unique and different. Therefore, going into the new one, I expect them to make it feel unique and different. And you know what? I thought this did a pretty good job. I don't know if this is the strongest first Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode ever. I still think that's 5Ds for just fucking throwing you right into it. But no, I dig this. There's a lot to like here. And what they do that's very right, first and foremost, is they just do a lot of quick things to show you how this one is going to feel different. Not just for the fact that there's a fucking alien in it, but just the kind of overall atmosphere and look of this show has this much more just kind of relaxed feel to it. Like, you look at how Seven started off, and it was just like, holy shit, crazy shit right off the bat. Giant robot, Yugioh waking up, the crazy world building, showing of robots, this. This had a much more kind of laid back vibe to it. I felt like I was just kind of spending the first couple minutes with these kids, getting an idea what they're like, getting an idea what the world they live in is like. And I appreciate that feeling. Even the look of the show. We're not in a city like we were for the last one in the last couple of Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows. We're in a suburb to rural type area. So just like those visuals of just like the much smaller Japanese homes, the fact that there's a lot of woods, and I like the way it looks too. I can't tell if like it's really that different from Seven's visuals, but just like when they're in the forest to when you see the town, it's got a much more like lighter, less aggressive color palette. The backgrounds are a little less detailed, but have a little more kind of stuff going on. The way you see the trees and the plants, and even the cat and all that. This feels like a very different natured show, and I hope that will play into the overall plot a lot. But yeah, no, so we see our two of our three main characters. I actually have the names up for once. We have Yui, shut up phone, and Yuamu. I hate the names. And immediately they feel different from Seven's characters. Like, first up, their acting, I really like the way they are acted. I like the idea that they sound more like real kids as opposed to the Seven's characters where the voice acting was very intentionally but sounded more like just kind of goofy anime characters, and then the personalities is what grounded them. Here, these two have a much more simplistic, kind of normal kid voice. I'm not saying it's better, because I love the acting in Sevens, but I think it's good and unique for this take on things. And it does set up contrast with them later, but even the designs I thought that I still don't really like, I thought played into it fine. Yui is supposed to be kind of like this dreamer, like an ambitious kid, kind of like a Luke, but he doesn't have that like high energy in the same way. Like I said, very relaxed, very just kind of chill. He has dreams and aspirations, but he's much more kind of like simplistic in the way he goes about it. He wants to find aliens, but he's not going to like get in your face about it. He just kind of wants to go and do his own thing, and I kind of appreciate that. This is a nice little contrast to Yuamu, who seems to kind of have her own little motives going on. And I thought that was kind of fun, the way she kind of just sort of did everything, the way she kind of like pushes Yui's buttons, the way she kind of like negotiates things with Yugioh. I thought they did a real good job of making her seem like clever and intelligent. And again, the acting just plays a big part in that. But yeah, no. So they run kind of a, I guess, odd jobs type business. I hope that isn't mishandled because a lot of these types of anime do. I'll explain that later. But essentially, they're looking for a lost cat so that way they can fund their alien research, I think is what's going on here, which is all right. That's cute. But yeah, no. So then they run into a spaceship that has caused a big, massive hole in the earth in the form of downed trees. They get on, they get transported up, and I'll say this is where the visuals kind of let me down a little bit. I felt like when we're just in that metal space environment, it did look very much like Sevens or even something you'd see out of like Brains. But yeah, no, so they get sent up, and I like Yui's reaction. He's just like, what the fuck? I much more appreciate that to the kind of cliche sci-fi reaction of everyone just being in wonderment of what's going on. He is like shocked and confused, and she is much more kind of like just thinking about, okay, what do we do? And again, that's kind of who these kids are. But yeah, no, so they go up, and then we get the introduction of our main protagonist, Yugioh, and I like this introduction. It's different. It's kind of fun. I like that Yugioh appears as just like this mysterious, just talking ball of light that then turns into a humanoid shape, and then turns into the kid. And what I like about that is it kind of sets up this idea that there is more to Yugioh. You don't really know what he is. You don't really know where he comes from. Like, he tells you, but the fact that your introduction to him is being this mysterious ball of light, it does leave you to wonder, what else is this guy, or what else can he do? How does his shapeshifting, whatever the hell that was, works? But then his introduction, I kind of like his personality. I was a little worried he'd be a little Yusei and a little Yusaku and maybe a little Yuga splashed in there, but no, he feels very much like a different type of person. He wants to learn what rush duels are, and I kind of like the way they then have to talk to him. The whole duel just feels like this like introductory explanation, not to dueling, but how these kids are going to get along with each other. I love the way throughout the duel, Yugioh just wants to learn and to understand, and stuff like just looking at the pack, seeing it says rush duel and thinking that's what a rush duel is. That's what an alien would do. I like the idea that he doesn't just get everything immediately. He has to learn, he has to be taught, and he has to experience things. That's a very good character trait to give, I think, in general. So to see it here on someone who needs to learn things, I think is really good and a clever way to write the character. I also think it's smart how they show his people. Like, for as laid back as the show is, when you see that he's got, what, like 8.88 million people relying on him to find something in rush duels that can help him, I think it's a neat way to kind of give in the severity of the situation. We could be in a blank room where he just says, oh yeah, I got millions of people to worry about, but actually showing that there are so many fucking people relying on this kid, I think is a really just good way to really sell it who he is and what he's about. This is someone with a purpose. This is someone with agency, and he's come to dueling because he feels it can get him what he needs. So I'm really excited to see what happens. I really like watching the kids interact. And then at the end of the episode, he joins their like organization, and we'll see where that goes in episode 2. Hopefully the good momentum continues. We shall see. And of course, naturally, we have to bring up at the end, how the fuck does this tie into Sevens? Because they have the last name Odo. Like, that's Yuga's last name. Are they cousins? Are they related? They don't look like him. There's no visual relation. But what happened? The minute I noticed their last name was Odo, I'm like, what? Then, also, if they've said in other media, I haven't looked, so shut up. But yeah, and then at the end there, we see in the building they work at, or whatever the hell's going on there, Asuna's sidekick dude is there. Assuming we didn't have other characters I just didn't pick up on immediately, but obviously he's got a very distinct look. And then in the end credits, we see that, also I like the end credits song, it was cute. We see that the journalist kid is there. How does he fit in all this? We see that the other girl in the journalist club is there too. There's probably other references I didn't pick up on. But here's my question. How does this relate to Sevens? How far in the future are we? What has happened? But what's smart, as fun as this is to speculate and wonder what the hell they've done, I like the fact it was intentionally saved for the end. Because, like I said at the beginning of the video, the strength of and best thing a first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Can do is make it feel original and unique. And the people who did this understood that. They understood that they needed to make the star of the first episode be what's new, not what's returning, not what's coming back. And I thought they did a really good job of that, and it makes me really excited to see where this era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Will take us. So in the comments section below, give me your thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, and where do you think the show goes, and what are your expectations? And as for the TCG question of the week, Week 2 of regionals coming back has come in with more crazy shit that's topping. There was literally a regional in Texas where ABC and Masked Hero top. That is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dream, people. So my question to you today is, what do you hope will do good? Is there one deck you're really burning to get that clutch spot in Top Cut? Tell me about that below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me as we welcome in a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Future.